Hello, everyone. Santir here, or also known as Ben, because I'm with my sister again, Jennifer.
Wahahaha.
And we're playing more Ocarina of Time on the GameCube version on my Wii, because my N64 cart doesn't work properly for some reason.
It was very sad.
It was.
He tried to leave the Temple of Time and it crashed.
And then I took... At first it didn't work, and then I pulled the hair out of it.
That was useful.
Yes, that helped.
Whose hair do you think it was?
I have no earthly idea.
Was it long enough to be mine?
No.
Okay, so it might have been anyone's then.
I'm
the only one with long hair who lives in this household, so... My hair is mid-chest.
Zora's Fountain. Don't disturb King Jabu-Jabu.
Nah!
Lord Jabu-Jabu.
Ha ha ha! You're misreading things now.
King Zora the 14th. 16th.
Wow, you're really on a roll.
In my defense, Final Fantasy XIV has been real popular on the internet. And my brain just kind of automatically processes.
So on the map that I made as a child of many of the locations in this game, because that's my personality apparently, I wrote down that he was King Zora the 16th. And we looked at that earlier today. So I had commented on that actually.
There's a thing you can do where you bounce off the side of that and fly into his mouth.
That sounds really complicated. You already have a fish.
I have a fish. I'm going to feed him a fish.
The fish is very blue.
The bottle is very blue. The fish is also blue.
It's a very pretty color.
It is.
He has an interesting way of doing his jaw. I think it's because in a human, the jaw goes down, and apparently in Jabu-Jabu, the jaw goes up.
I think you would also move your jaw up if something was right here under your chin.
I guess so.
Try to open your mouth. For those who cannot see us, which is all of you, I have my fist underneath her jaw. So she has to open up. Okay.
My entire head is indeed tilted. I don't feel like his entire head tilted, though. I think it was like just the snout. Like an alligator or something.
Oh, that could be.
I don't feel like the rest of his head. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. We'll have to watch out for that when we record this.
No,
you popped the bubble.
Yeah, it's not a bubble.
It looks like a bubble. I'm aware it's a bad guy, but the bad guy is a bubble.
It's a shabomb.
The shabomb is made of bubbles.
If you cut it, it will burst open and knock you back.
Like a bubble. Only they don't knock you back.
Most bubbles I have seen are pretty ephemeral.
Yes, I can attest to this. I washed my water cup the other day, and I use soap, obviously, and I got a soap bubble over the top of it.
That's always fun.
I think I found the way those doors open a little weird as a kid.
Everything about this is a little weird.
Like a creepy, weird way. Like, I think it might be the sound effect. It's very, I don't know, spongy.
We need to watch Ruto. Hi, Ruto.
Hi, Ruto.
You look better as concept art.
She's adorable. We were looking, because again, we have the guide. And what's nice about having the guide is it has the concept art in it.
Yeah.
Not for the Majora's Mask guide, which I'm bitter about, but I'm not going to say anything else. But they have a lot of the concept art in the Ocarina of Time guide. And she is so adorable.
I want to give her a head pat.
She is such a cute little girl in that.
Yep.
You? Who are you? I am Ruto, Princess of the Zoras. Okay, they have the S on the end there. What? Are you saying my father asked you to come here to save me? I'd never ask anyone to do such a thing. Letter in a bottle? I have no idea what you're talking about. My father's worried about me? I don't care. Anyway, I can't go home right now, and you get out of here, understand?
I like the fact that some of her dialogue pops out faster to give kind of some personality. Did you notice that?
There was someone, and I don't remember, and I wasn't sure actually if you would hit a button to make it speed up or something.
I did not.
Not here, or like in the last episode. There was someone where it was like all caps, like yelling, and it came out like immediately. It didn't like take time to appear. Yeah, and I noted that.
I don't think that was me pushing a button.
Okay. Interesting. Oh, I love that like little head turn. Humph. Oh, no!
Problem. Jabu-Jabu has stomach ulcers.
He has an interesting interior.
Let's not worry about biology.
Including the fact that there's oxygen everywhere in here.
Or the fact that he is enormous on the inside compared to his outsides.
That too.
He's the TARDIS fish.
Like, I get it with the Deku tree, although the fact that he's hollow is kind of distressing. But Jabu-Jabu is much larger than it makes sense. Are you still hanging around here? I told you to go away. She should be stamping her foot right now. I'm okay. I've been going inside Lord Jabu-Jabu's belly since I was little. Ooh, her father doesn't know that one. But Lord Jabu-Jabu is very strange today, I'll say. There are electrified jellyfish and strange holes around. On top of that, my precious stone was... But that's none of your business. Anyway, you go home now, understand? She's a lot cuter in the concept art than she is in her dialogue.
I enjoy her, but...
Yeah, she feels very,
She has a lot of, like... The word that I want to use would be misconstrued by the British, but she has a lot of, like, personality and spark.
Oh, that was the word I was going for too, Ben. Wow, we were going... yeah, I think we were going for the same word. Do you not want me to say it because of British people?
I mean, people can figure it out on their own.
Okay.
Let's just say a water company should have done better advertising.
Oh, I haven't heard that story.
Oh, I think it's Dasani. Like, yeah, they use, like... Yeah.
Oh,
No, you should look this up afterwards.
That's terrible. Wow. I didn't realize that was just a British thing, though. I mean, I was about to say I've read a lot of British stuff, but that's been like Agatha Christie, and they wouldn't be using that word, so I don't know why that would be relevant. I didn't realize that was like British slang, though. But, versus like more universal or anything else. Wow, that was really a roundabout way to get back here.
Yeah, that's the way to get back
You're
here.
that worried about me? Then I will give you the honor of carrying me. However, I won't leave until I find the thing I'm looking for. You'd better believe me.
Okay, now I want to look at the side of her head.
Okay, yeah, I was saying she reminded me of like a shark or something. Okay, the extra eyeballs comes in here, I guess. Yeah. Okay, these electrified jellyfish are really annoying.
They are.
Okay.
Also, for some crazy reason, there are two gold skulltulas right next to each other over there.
That's convenient. Also, what is that green pulsating thing? Is that like an artery of some sort? Does he have green blood?
Oh, no, that's a tentacle that we have to knock down.
Oh, okay, that's the bad guy. It's an infestation. Okay,
Yes.
so eyeballs on the side of her head.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, I think I see her ear, and then there's like an eyeball above it.
Like, is that an eyeball on the side of her head?
Maybe it's like butterfly where they have fake eyeballs.
Maybe it's an ear. Maybe it's an ear hole.
It's a target.
I mean...
It looks like a target, so... Maybe that's the thing they peel off, and that's the Zora scale, in air quotes.
Oh, great.
That's a Zora scale, then. Why, I bet she loved that. You just threw her across the hallway.
She bounced like a bomb.
Yeah, it's really the way to treat a princess. But, like, what is this switch? Like, and from a practical... This is someone's insides standpoint. Which, I mean, clearly this is not meant to be interpreted that way. Ooh.
Another fairy.
Do you want to fill all of your bottles?
No, but yes.
No, but yes. That's a really annoyingly shaped bottle because you can't set it down upright.
No, that's just the shape the bottle has when they don't want to render everything.
Okay, so when they render everything, it has more of a
rounded bottom.
Okay, well, rounded. You can't set it down if it's rounded.
It's got a flat bottom, but it
rounded, like the picture of it.
Yes.
Okay,
the picture is accurate. Everything else is compromise.
Okay, I will accept that as an explanation. More water. Don't think about the mechanics of this being the insides of Lord Jabu-Jabu. No!
Oh, for crying out. Okay, whatever. We'll just push it up.
Third time's the charm? Is that a fish that you've been staring at this whole time?
It's something. Some sort of...
There's like been this...
fin?
Red fin in the water that Navi likes, and I keep on staring at it when the water is up and down, wondering what it is.
Those things explode to one
Deku nut.
Deku-nut.
Again, Deku nuts are really useful. More useful than you realize.
Yes, I just pushed that uvula switch with Princess Ruto. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah. You know, her role in here, if I remember correctly, which maybe I don't, is to be like the Elegy of Emptiness, where you make statues. But in that, you can have like 3 statues, and you only have one Princess Ruto.
I wonder if she runs away. if I go over here to talk to this Deku Scrub about whatever the heck he sells.
That would be extremely frustrating. Like if you leave the room, basically.
Oh, good. You can also pop these guys out of the ground with Megaton Hammer.
I surrender!
Sure.
Deku nuts. Well, those are useful in here. They kill those stupid electric bubbles.
That guy's really important to know about if you have Scrub Sanity on it in the randomizer, which means that Deku Scrubs can have random items.
Ah, yes, that would be useful. Nope, she's still there.
Good. Unfortunately, I just missed the elevator.
So well, that gives you time to collect her and get back. So if you leave the room she's in, does she...
She, at various points, can end up back in the main up area.
That's why you should put Ferora's Wind in there. So you can always get back to her.
It's not a very far walk.
Okay. I was trying to find a use for it.
The Fire Temple is useful.
Okay. Does that have a central hub area with the keys? All the rooms with the keys, right?
It has pits that you can fall a long way down and have to climb all the way back up.
Don't you have to rescue a bunch of Gorons for that one?
Yes.
You have to unlock their cells.
There's a button, and then
don't you have to do that in Twilight Princess too? The Goron elders all get captured or something?
Oh, maybe. I don't remember. So Fire Temple, yeah, a bunch of Gorons get captured, and
that's why your namesake is all by himself. Right?
Yes, and they're all inside cells with keys, but
Yes.
keys to doors in the temple, and you need them outside. Let's see. Is this...
So does the blue switch means it doesn't stay down unless you're standing on it?
There's two switches here. Two types of switches. One requires you to have double weight from having her on.
Ah.
Well, we ain't doing that right now.
Wait, did it lock after? Oh, she stood up. That's why. How inconsiderate! How could you leave me behind? If you're a man... It's the theme again.
I know, right?
If you're a man, act like one. Take responsibility. Real men take responsibility. And real men carry swords and shields. And what else was that we learned about real men? Ooh, this is fun. You don't have to do anything. You just wiggle around.
Yeah, right into the danger zone.
It's the tentacle.
And real men help people instead of threatening them.
Is that what the other one was?
I mean, that's basically what the Goron one was.
Yeah, I guess. I can't remember what he said with it. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. Ooh, it's blue. That sounds like it must be unhealthy. Like, I feel like the blue section must be unhealthy. This switch! It doesn't look like you can press it down with your weight alone, Link.
Good thing I have Princess Ruto.
Yeah, that was convenient to already have Princess Ruto instead of later realizing you needed to backtrack and find her. This is very...
What? Okay, what the heck are these?
Stingers. They look like stingrays, but they fly. Do you think we're actually in some kind of goo inside of his belly? So it's flying through the goo and not through air. He has very weird insides, is what I'm saying.
We established, but yes. I like how the friggin' walls quiver if you, like, hit him.
Them? Yeah. And, like, they seem like they quiver a lot when the bad guys come out of it. Since the bad guys are, like, inside of his skin. And it kind of like, that hurt when it pops out. At least you can aim when you are using...
Now, the real question is, why do they contain Deku Nuts?
These Deku Nuts really get around, don't they? Like, they don't... I was positing
or
that...
seeds, rather. Deku Seeds.
I was positing that...
It's very easy to get them confused.
Because they're both nuts and seeds, I was positing that there were a variety of plants that are all called Deku. Maybe because Deku is like a location or something. But they are all over the place. So that wouldn't necessarily follow unless they've been, imported or exported or whatever.
Boomerang.
So it might be that there's
Sorry, I just remembered
place.
the boomerang joke again.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a Avatar: Last Airbender reference, right?
Yes. It's the picture of Aang from Legend of Korra.
Oh, Yeah, I still have thoughts about some of the Legend of Korra's treatment of Aang, but we won't go into that here.
And we will not.
All right, she's gonna get mad at you for leaving her.
Yes,
again.
she will, but that's okay. I need her to stand on that and hold it in place.
Yep. I think you missed.
Yeah, you have to be
Yay.
close enough.
So there are multiple these weird tentacles, a red
There's,
one
like,
and a green
3.
one and a blue one,
Yeah.
and they're what you need to fight to beat it. Huh?
Yeah, there's a bunch of enemies that are only weak to the boomerang, which is weird, but it's how they designed it.
I wonder why the boomerang instead of seeds.
So that way you have to use it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I from a gameplay standpoint. See, I keep on deciding to ask questions that the answer is because it's a game. Like, why are Jabu-Jabu's insides like this? Because it's a game. But it's just fun to ask these weird questions. Because I think it is. How inconsiderate. We already saw this text, so I don't have to read about being a man.
I think Ruto's probably slightly older than Link. Okay.
The red slimy thing is gone. That must be because you cut the red tail. Will that work with the other ones too?
Well, one way to find out.
That was actually like a useful thing. Like pointing out that the... what happens if you run out of time?
You have to start over.
Okay. Wow, you just like are killing them with your body. They run into you and they pop.
Yeah. No, these things are super fragile.
That's why I called them bubbles.
I mean, it's true.
They also
They're bubbles, but they're full of very explosive force when they pop.
Maybe they are hydrogen bubbles.
Bubbles of hydrogen. Maybe.
Yeah, like a blimp.
Explosive concussive force.
Mm-hmm.
I found the compass, by the way.
Yay.
Now I can see many hidden things in the dungeon.
That's good.
Like which room I entered and where I am in the map in the lower right. I can turn off the map by pushing the D-pad.
Oh.
Why does the D-pad toggle the map? Well, because this was originally made for the N64. If you've seen the N64, the D-pad is way off in the middle of nowhere land when you're trying to hold the game to play this
To
game.
be fair, I feel like it's a little bit nowhere-ish here because you're probably going to have your thumb on the control stick. You have to like move it. But it's definitely not as bad as on the N64 controller where you have to move your hand, not your thumb. So, wait, I thought they'd be a different color. That one's still kind of red.
I think they are in the 3DS version.
But I saw a green one earlier.
Parasitic tentacle. It
Question
seems that the
mark.
narrow part is its weak point. You need a particular item to destroy it.
Boomerang.
Yes.
Just because we saw that green one that we were like, I was commenting on, is that a vein or something, artery? And you were like, no, that's a parasitic tentacle that we have to destroy later. So I thought that meant they were all different colors.
Yeah, it is not. There's like almost no chest in this dungeon, by the way. It's terrible.
Well, that
if you
would
have
be,
to come in here and randomize
That
it.
is because he would have to have swallowed the chests.
On the other hand, in Master Quest, there's a bunch of cows embedded in that you have to shoot with Deku seeds.
There are cows in here?
Yes.
That's a interesting decision.
It is, isn't it?
What? You have to shoot the cows?
Yes.
Why?
They're switches.
The cows are switches.
Yes. You shoot the cows because they're switches.
I have many questions right now.
So does everyone.
Who designed Master Quest?
Nintendo.
The people who weren't working on Majora's Mask, right?
Correct.
I think I prefer Majora's Mask to that. Romani Ranch is very nice, and that has cows too.
It does.
They get kidnapped by aliens.
I'm not if you're playing well.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, it depends on what playthrough you
It's
do.
true. If you make the time for them.
If you make the time for them, they will not be kidnapped by aliens. Because for some reason, we assume that aliens like to abduct cows. And I'm not quite sure what the reason is for that trope.
Probably because people don't want to admit that they have had their cattle stolen by normal cattle thieves.
I guess that could be it. I have to explore the origins of...
Where the heck do I need to fall here? This one, maybe?
Let's hope you chose the right one.
I did.
Yay. Hello, Skulltula. You aim with your head with this, right?
Yes.
This is the real utility of the boomerang. You can bring things back.
Yes.
I don't know that real boomerangs do that.
The return powers of the boomerang have been greatly exaggerated, as I understand it.
That would be my assumption. It can return itself and nothing else.
I'm not even sure they're good for that.
Yeah, they have the reputation for it, but I think you might have to be very good at aiming in order to accomplish that. I'm not an expert on boomerangs, however. Ooh, she found it.
Yep.
That's it! That's what I've been looking for! Throw me up there, onto the platform!
One of the things I'm noticing about it is the shape of the symbol that we saw, like the Zora Sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We'll look at it when we actually have the Zora Sapphire.
Ah, anticipation.
But you can see, like, it has the shape of, like, the circles on it. So if you look at the Zora design, It's like the area where the sapphires are.
The metal part?
It's like the metal part, yeah.
Yeah.
Without the sapphires.
Mm-hmm. She got the spiritual stone, but why Princess Ruto? That's a weird question to ask, unless you know it's her engagement ring, quote unquote. Oh my goodness! I finally found... Wait, does this mean that her mother is from the royal family and not the husband? Because if it's the royal family's engagement stone, and like she has it and gives it to...
That's a really good question.
Or does it mean that her father gave it to her mother, so it was her mother's stone?
I don't know how any of this works. They don't really explain it.
Either of those could work. I got very upset when Lord Jabu-Jabu swallowed it. While I was feeding him, he suddenly swallowed me. I was so surprised. I dropped it. That is different from him swallowing it. I dropped it inside.
Where do you normally hold on to it?
It's in those eyeballs on her head. She opens them up and stores things inside her cranium. That's why it's so big. It's a storage space. But now that I've found it...
I don't like that headcanon.
That was great. I don't need to be here anymore. In here anymore. So, take me home right now.
I have bad news.
You're going to be kidnapped. Fare thee well.
This room is entirely optional, apparently.
Yeah! What is this? An octopus?
Unless you're playing it normally. In which case you need to come through here.
Like we are?
Yes. It's a big octopus.
So did she get swallowed by the octopus? This is just her day for getting swallowed by things. At least they don't chew, apparently.
Big octo. Attack it from behind.
Thank you. That was convenient to know. This is her day for getting swallowed by things. Ah, that's why you attack from behind. It's got a...
It has 4 hit points.
Key weakness. And it really hates Deku sticks.
I one-shot it with a Deku stick.
That's very impressive. Alas, she was not swallowed by the octopus, and therefore she has not been recovered.
There is... pots.
Maybe he swallowed the pots.
Ooh. These are very good pots.
They were nice pots.
I was getting low on Deku Nuts.
Ooh, magic.
I don't think I need magic, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
I have this obsessive need to pick up all the things that get dropped, even if I'm like full up
Same.
on hearts and full up. Like, I would still pick them up anyway. Doesn't matter. I cannot leave it lying there. My wallet is full. I have no damage. I have all of my magic. I will still pick up all of the things.
You jerk. Get back up here.
Ha. Revenge.
Yeah, give me your rupee. Your singular green rupee.
Was it worth it?
To get him out of the way, yes.
I will agree with that part.
To pick up the rupee, I mean, I'm like you. I can't just let it sit there.
Yeah. It drives me crazy when people not picking up things. Even if it's like they don't need it. You can't.
It's like, I know your wallet is full and it literally does nothing to pick it up. I still need the satisfaction of picking it up.
It's littering, Ben.
It is littering.
We're virtuous for picking it up.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a psychological thing, definitely, where it feels like you're leaving it behind. You aren't taking advantage of the free items given to you, even though it
This might be...
means nothing. Ooh, hearts. You actually do need a heart. But only one, but we get 3 anyway. This might be what?
Well, we're about to beat this.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just wondering, like...
Well, then we have to, like, look at Princess Zelda, so...
Yes.
Oh, that's convenient. So we found a box as a replacement for...
Yes, Ruto can be replaced by a box.
That's a flex. Is, I think, the word people use these days. I wonder if the different colors denote anything of, like, why is this room green and that room red?
I always interpreted it as he
That
was
room-
sicker here.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was something like that. Like,
But maybe green is this normal color and it's inflammation when it's really red?
that could be. But
I
green feels like he's rotting inside or something
It
really
does.
gross.
It feels really bad.
Yes.
I expect healthy flesh to be red.
Yes.
And so this does not feel... Where is this thing? Right in front of me.
Ha. I think you missed.
I definitely did. You can't lock on to Gold Skulltulas.
Okay, that's good to know. Actually, that's an interesting point. That also explains a lot. But you can lock onto the
The token,
medallions.
yeah.
I guess they're called tokens, right? Not medallions. Medallions are what you get for the
yes, beating the temples.
Yeah.
And like I said, originally they were supposed to give you magic spells and arrow combinations too.
Oh, wow.
Like fire arrows required you to get the fire medallion. And
then that was too much with having 6 of them.
Yeah, there's lots of reasons why that sort of stuff could get cut. Okay, you know what? We'll just go that way. There's lots of reasons why that sort of stuff could get cut. Game development is a messy process.
Yeah, I get that one.
As you know, somebody who's done game development stuff. I actually want to write an article about character classes and psychopops are missing.
Ooh.
But for right now, we need to kill a gigantic
Pulsating.
anemone.
I guess he's being attacked with electricity is what I'm picking up from this.
Yes.
Ooh.
Barinade. Bioelectric anemone.
Anemone.
Anemone. It's a fun word, anemone.
Anemone. It's like abominable abdominal anemone. Abominable abdominal anemone.
Step 1.
Say that 3 times fast. Step 1 is to kill the...
Oh, I need to...
Ooh, your controller rumbled.
Yeah, it did.
So, okay, you don't attack the swirly bits. You attack the central thing.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good idea.
There's a thing you can do to pop those.
Do they grow back, or are they lost once lost?
They're lost once lost.
Yeah. So that could be helpful for, like, this, where there's no opening. If you killed those, there would be an opening, for example. Like now. That Deku stick thing is, like, really ridiculous. Like, how did they do that? Like, how did that happen that they did that?
That they made sticks deal more damage?
Yeah.
I'm hitting him, by the way, because that advances him to the next phase faster.
Okay, instead of attacking other things, you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine they...
Instead of trying to dodge.
I can't imagine they deliberately decided...
That was a pretty quick kill on him.
I can't imagine they deliberately decided, you know, we should make the, like, most powerful weapon in this game, not literally, but, you know, the stick.
Yeah.
So, like, how did they accidentally make that happen? Ooh,
Well,
green blood.
They made...
Like Jabu-Jabu's green in the sick parts.
Yep.
Anyway, keep going.
So the Kokiri sword deals base damage of 1. The Deku stick and Master Sword deal base damage of 2. And the Biggoron sword, I think, deals a base damage of 4?
Okay, so it's just equivalent to the Master Sword. But how did they decide to do that?
I don't know why they particularly made that decision. It might be because they break. But they are stronger than the Kokiri sword. Yeah. Technically, they have more leverage because they're longer.
You're late. What took you so long? You're useless. I was just lonely, that's all. Just a little.
She's blushing.
I noticed. I thought she was blushing with anger. What do you think she's blushing with?
And now Link is at crotch height as he's flying off into the thing. I don't know why that cutscene opens with him in there, but there we are. She goes first.
Ah!
That's how Link feels.
I noticed. I can see on his wrist. He's got the
Goron bracelet.
Yeah, I think she'd be up maybe like 12 or something.
Yeah.
You looked cool. Cooler than I thought you would anyway. Just a little. Well, anyway, you saved me, so I guess I'll reward you. What do you wish? Just tell me.
I want that spiritual stone.
You mean the spiritual stone of water, Zora's Sapphire, don't you?
What other spiritual stone would I be talking about? The 2 I have in my pocket? I have those already.
My mother gave it to me and said I should give it only to the man who will be my husband. You might call it the Zora's engagement ring. All right.
So does Hyrule have engagement rings then as a practice?
Apparently. Maybe just Zora's do.
It's one of those like world building things that like...
Yeah, like when they were talking in French earlier when they were saying coup de grace. It's like, you're suddenly talking in French. Like, I read something where they were clearly talking around the word déjà vu because it was set in a fantasy world where French wouldn't exist. And so there wasn't, like, instead of just using déjà vu and pretending it was like a normal English term, which technically I'd say it is because we use it. But they were like having to talk around to come up with a different word because they didn't feel like they could use deja vu in a fantasy setting where presumably the character's not even speaking English. Just we're pretending that it sounds like English.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'll give you my most precious possession, Zora's Sapphire.
I've always kind of liked Ruto.
Mm-hmm. The water is now a different color.
Yep.
It's sapphire blue. Actually, it feels more like cobalt blue.
Yeah.
What is a cobalt? I'm guessing it's a stone as well.
It's a metal.
It's a metal. Okay.
I believe.
Blue metal?
Yeah. Why not?
I want to see that. So you were talking about something about this earlier. You were going to tell me.
Yeah. See, the design of it is like the Zora design, but it's just the metal part where because the curves where the sapphires are missing. I was kind of saying it earlier.
Oh, okay, you did say it. Yeah, that's similar to with the Deku one.
Yeah.
Because the Deku one also it's got like that swirl that's on the Deku shield and the metal. I think the Goron one though that has to have the rubies, right?
Yeah, it very much so has a space for the ruby.
Yeah, so that's a little bit different. So that's interesting. All right, you obtain the Zora's Sapphire. And you won't understand what an engagement ring is, apparently.
Yep.
I guess that makes sense because Kukiri probably don't get married.
Probably not. How do they reproduce? We don't know. Do they just fall out of the Deku tree? Maybe.
Her most precious possession? You don't know what she's talking about. No, I take objection. I get saying engagement ring. What is she talking about? I get that from his background, but precious possession, understanding what that means is a little weird. Anyway, you don't know what she's talking about, but you finally collected all 3 spiritual stones. Go back to see Princess Zelda.
I'm not just confusing things. No, there is something somewhere that tells you.
Don't tell my father.
That, like, Link's mother brought him in during Hylian Civil War.
I could distinctly remember the cutscene because it got black with fire, talking about how his mother was kind of ran away with him as a baby and was given shelter by the Deku tree, and she died and he was raised. I distinctly remember this happening.
Boy, that's Aragorn.
Oh, yeah, that is really Aragorn. I distinctly remember this happening. And I assumed
I can hear Jabu-Jabu breathing in the background.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Wow, he's like snoring or something. I distinctly remember this scene, and I would have sworn it was the Deku tree talking to you. Do you think it's the baby Deku tree?
Oh, you might be right.
I bet it's the baby Deku tree.
Well, we'll have to see when we beat Forest Temple.
I guess we'll find out.
Not this episode.
No. And not the next one either, right?
And my plan is to try to do as much as I can before.
You went to do them in the wrong order.
That also.
But also, we'd be going to see like the Dampe and Lon Lon Ranch, stuff like that too.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do we talk to the king again at this point?
We can.
I don't remember if we do.
I don't think we need
I guess just because Ruto's back now. She's so... And this is the thing too, like the royal family looks so different from the other Zora. And the kings are always like giant.
Why there aren't other female Zora, I do not know.
Well, I'm assuming that everyone except for the queen or princess looks normal. But then Lulu is weird. So maybe, I don't know what's going on with this. It's all very confusing.
Yeah.
But Love Ruto has the fishtail head. So, Link. So you saved the princess, eh? He's Canadian now. I really appreciate it. I guess other people can say eh.
Let's go visit.
Darunia was much more appreciative. But I guess I saved his entire species.
It's true.
I saved his entire species. You saved his entire species by restoring their food source, and here you just saved his daughter. So maybe that feels a little less like a thing to be thankful about.
And also, like, he gave us the spiritual stone, and we already got the spiritual stone from...
Yeah, I mean, that was part of his, showing his gratitude. But I feel like he was also... Maybe he's just a more effusive personality in general.
Oh, I definitely agree with that. Darunia is very over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I need to do here?
And King Zora the 16th feels more like the sputtering, doddering father with the domineering daughter or something.
Yeah.
Which is definitely a stereotype of some sort.
I mean, that's definitely what's going on with Malon and Talon as well.
Yeah. Ooh, the name's rhyme.
Yeah, and yes.
No, what I always do...
They have.
What I've always done with these guys is I play a song from Majora's Mask so I can remember it. And then vice versa. You can do the Goron Lullaby or something. Or you can do that and never be able to play it again.
It's up and then just clockwise.
You never know. I don't mean I can only remember 8 notes.
Let's get it right there for now, baby.
That works. I mean, I can only remember 8 notes, right? That's what you learned with the mini game you didn't want to do with the Skull Kids.
I don't want to do that mini game. That mini game sucks.
You learned that you can only remember 8 notes. You can remember fewer notes than a
It's
scarecrow.
very slow and long.
Ooh, you can climb that. Is that where you get attacked by the crows that are not called crows?
The gay, something like that. Yeah.
G-U-A-Y.
Yeah,
I think they dive bomb you and attack you if you try to
They
climb
do.
that. I remember that. They also do that. There's a tree in the swamp in Majora's Mask where they do the same thing.
Yes.
But there's a heart piece.
But you go up there as adults.
Okay. Ah, that explains it. I was like, what is he doing? So why do you prefer using the slingshot when it uses ammo?
Faster.
Okay.
It's significantly faster than the boomerang to attack
Gotcha.
with.
That makes sense. I guess you know it from speed runs.
Also, just playing the game, but yes.
Okay, I'll accept that too. Oh, this is why he takes you back. Because you're going back
It certainly
there
is an option.
for the end of the game.
There's another Scatola over here that I'm going to go grab on Fire Arrow
Island.
Island thing?
This is where the Serenade of Water takes you, it looks like, too.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, okay. The island, I see. With the inscription. You shoot into the sun and you get fire arrows.
It's really cool.
It's also much easier than other ways of getting fire arrows.
Yes? I don't know. The one where you get the fire and ice arrows from Wind Waker is pretty straightforward, but you do have to have teleporting magic. I do want to get to that game eventually, viewer, but it will be sometime.
Yeah, I
before
don't
we have
think
time to do it.
it'll happen this week.
It will not happen this week. We will be happy to get through Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Yeah, we'll see if that happens, right?
Yep.
Okay, as the sun comes up.
But maybe we'll do Wind Waker. I feel like Wind Waker's longer than either of these two.
I feel like it's got multiple stages. Like, it's got the Save the Sister stage, and then the, collect the 3 things to open up to Hyrule Castle stage, and then, okay, but your sword's underpowered. So
Was
you
he
have to
just saying, what are you
collect-
doing all the way out here?
Link, this is a beautiful lake full of pure, clear water. At the lake bottom, there is a water temple, spoilers, used to worship the water spirits. The Zoras are guardians of the temple. Woohoo! The Zoras come from Zora's domain in northeast Hyrule. An aquatic race, they are longtime allies of Hyrule's royal family. Hint, hint, play the song. Woohoo! I heard that only the royal family of Hyrule can enter Zora's domain. Woohoo!
Boy, that must make it really hard for any Zoras who leave.
Yeah. I'm on my way back to the Maybe they come in through Lake Hylia, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm on my way back to the castle. If you want to come with me, hold on to my talons. Do you want to go back this way, or would it get you to the wrong... Ben, they're playing the song that's
They are
first person
flying.
perspective for flying creatures.
Yep.
That's such a specific leitmotif.
I haven't seen these cutscenes in a while.
This
so.
is really fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying the first person cutscenes. But depending on where he drops you off, you're going to be cutting straight into... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Yep. It's like, here, let me drop you off into
A cutscene.
this cutscene.
We'll go from one cutscene with nice, fun music to one cutscene with scary, ominous music.
After we take a couple of frames to load
Yeah.
that cutscene.
Like, wait, cutscene's happening.
Yep. It seems like an efficient way to do it, though.
It's your nightmare from the opening.
It is.
We didn't see her do
She
this.
has a great arm.
She should be a quarterback.
I was thinking a pitcher, but sure.
Yeah, she can. Baseball is probably healthier than football. You don't get head injuries in the same way.
Yeah.
Wow, he's got some aggressive coloring.
Yep.
His hair is glowing in the dark.
Yeah, it is.
Harg, my luster. I don't know what voice to do for him, so I'm just doing that apparently.
Apparently he's a pirate.
I was thinking the same thing. You, over there, little kid. You must have seen the white horse gallop past just now. Which way did it go? Answer me!
Away?
Towards Lon Lon Ranch. So, you think you can protect them from me? You've got guts, kid. I like his theme song, dude. Aww. Heh. 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 That was really spread out. You want a piece of me? Very funny. I like your attitude. His horse has demon eyes.
I still don't know why they made Ganondorf a clone of Captain Falcon in Melee.
It was a choice. But now I know why he has purple fire magic in that game, because he just used purple fire magic.
A little bit.
Pathetic little fool. I almost thought it said fond. Sorry, that would make no sense, but the font looked like it said fond for some reason. Pathetic little fool. Do you realize who you are dealing with? With whom you are dealing. I am Ganondorf, and soon I will rule the world. So Zelda was right. His goal was to rule the world.
Yep.
Is the world Hyrule, or are there other places? Like you go to in the Oracle games, you go to other places.
Holodrome and Sabrosia. And...
That's underground.
Yes, it is.
I don't think it counts. This is definitely what I've learned, a more cinematic game than I realized as a kid.
I know, right?
All right, make sure you go in the alley after
We
you get
will.
We've heard that there is a character in the alley, and we want to see if this is indeed the case.
I also want to see if I can get Din's Fire now.
Wow, this is going really swimmingly.
Yes, swimmingly, because we're
That
in
was
the
both.
moat.
That was a sarcastic pun. It wasn't supposed to be a pun until I realized I'd said that. It glows with a mystical light, but doesn't have sparkles like the other one
It's
does.
the Ocarina of Time.
No sparkles.
I think Saria comments on it, your ocarina sounding different when you play this for her.
Oh, you should do it then. Link, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. This is like in Majora's Mask. She teaches you.
The Song of Time.
Link, when you hold this ocarina in your hand, I won't be around anymore. I wanted to wait for you, but I couldn't delay any longer. I like how her dress swishes. At least I could leave you the ocarina and this melody. This song opens the door of time.
Wow.
It's the wrong color.
The green A's throw me off.
It's supposed to
big time.
be. I'm so used to it being blue. It's really throwing me off too.
Let's see. So
Ooh,
that
you
being-
teleported into her.
I did that without the C-stick.
What's also throwing me off is that in the other controller, A was physically lower on the controller.
Yes.
And so it made sense to be the low D.
Yeah.
But now it's above the C stick on the GameCube controller.
Yep.
So it's a completely different location, and it feels really weird to have that be the low note.
I think it's like LRA for the 3DS version, but I'm not exactly positive offhand.
Now, Link, play this melody in front of the altar in the Temple of Time. You must protect the Triforce. If you just left it alone, Ganondorf wouldn't be able to...
I know.
That's neither here nor there. So let's see what she says.
Yeah.
Our one and only time doing this, right? Yep, we do. Link? This is Saria. Can you hear me? What? Your ocarina sounds different somehow. Have you been practicing a lot, Link? Mm-hmm. Cool, cool. What do you do with the fairy ocarina? Just chuck it in the river where you found
It
this
just
one?
gets overwritten.
I know, but like from a non-mechanical standpoint, but from a like if this were a real thing standpoint.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. All right. So, does that guard know anything, by the way? Did he see anyone drive by?
That's a good question. Did Ganondorf question this guard?
Welcome to Hyrule Castle Town. It's peaceful and prosperous, unlike the greeting that you just got a few minutes ago. I swear it's peaceful and prosperous.
We still haven't done Richard. Maybe we'll do
We
that.
can time travel.
We're
to
not
do
in a
Richard.
hurry.
Okay, so let's see if what we've heard is true.
How do I...
Haha. So what we had heard is that there is a injured, maybe mortally wounded, I guess, Hylian guard in this back alley if you come here after Ganondorf runs away. Oh, are you the boy from the forest? I finally met you. I have something to tell you. Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, betrayed our king. Zelda's nanny, Impa, sensed danger and escaped from the castle with our princess. I've never heard her called a nanny before. I tried to stop Ganondorf's men from chasing them, but I think you succeeded because I have not seen Ganondorf's men. I've just seen Ganondorf. The princess was waiting for a boy from the forest. That's you. She wanted to give something to the boy. If you received it from the princess, hurry to the Temple of Time.
I've never seen this before.
That's why I wanted to do it. Oh, cool. He was dying in front of us. That's not morbid at all. He's not moving anymore. Wow. So,
Wow.
like, it's not giving you really any new information because you already got the thing and all of that. But the fact that that's in there is like a little Easter egg. Almost.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the castle, is that in an uproar at all? Like, everyone here is like, what are you talking about? People and horses driving through? That didn't happen. They must have gone through the back alley or something. But do any of these people know that something just crazy happened? Also, if you wanted, you could go to the thing.
Yeah, I'm going to.
The Great Fairy, that's the word. There's a lot going on in the castle right now. I can't allow even a dog to get into the castle. So he is aware and is like saying, Mom, we can't let any random people know. And so you can't bribe him anymore, apparently.
Yeah.
So they're aware that something
Bizarre that you could bribe in the first place, but...
Yeah, I did not know that was a thing you could do. You have to get the middle one, apparently.
Yes.
The right part of the middle one. Ha, you managed it.
This is a very finicky vine.
Apparently.
I need to equip bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll do Richard when we come back with the Lens
I
of Truth.
figured we were doing it as adults, so...
Well, you can't do Richard as an adult.
No, after we become an adult, we can become a kid
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
And I figured we'd become a kid again later. And then, what is that sign for, I wonder?
A dead end.
Oh, okay. Pay no attention to the rock at the end of
It
this.
says literally just dead end.
I wonder why they bothered putting a sign for that.
We should see if this is a great fairy of magic or
Power.
power.
It's got green.
Yes, because it's a spell.
Okay.
It's a nostalgic song.
It is.
I really liked how they've integrated to future
I-
games too.
I love the music in these games. Koji Kondo's amazing.
Yeah. So she's laying sideways like the Ferore's Wind one did too.
Yes. But they're going the opposite direction from her body, it looks like. I feel like the other one started on the legs and went to the face.
Maybe.
Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Magic.
Okay. Yeah.
I will give you a magic spell. Please take it. So some give you power, which I guess is physical, and others give you magic, which
Yeah.
is magical.
And she goes to that particular pose.
Yep. Which is what the other one did as well.
Yeah, it is.
Her hair is really interesting. Like, it's sticking up in weird ways with that one, too.
Yeah.
Din's Fire. This is the one that we actually found useful as children.
Yes. It would be really cool to see what this would look like if they like had her hair more free.
Yeah, the way it's these weird 3 tentacles is a choice.
I feel like it's a limitations
I feel
choice,
like
but
that might be what it is. I feel like if it was like wavy, like a whole hair, like a mermaid, that'd be better looking.
yeah.
You can use Din's Fire not only to attack, but also to burn things, like torches.
It's offensive
and
magic.
Spider webs. When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. And I'll give you gauntlets.
No, that's a great fairy of power.
I thought it was in this
Actually,
location,
no.
though.
It is in this location, but that's double defense. The gauntlets are found in the Shadow Trial.
Oh, okay. I guess you have to pick up the thing that makes sense. You pick up the thing. Could you go in the guard tower, by the way?
That's what I'm about to do. That's how you get out.
That makes sense.
All right. Well, you can get caught too.
Captured. I just think it's kind of cute that they have a little guard tower in here. Anyway. I like the kind of world building stuff like that, I guess.
Yeah, I like little details like that.
I made all the maps, right? Of
Yep.
all these various locations. So, all right. Was it gonna be sunset? That would be kind of cool looking. Wait, you're waiting for night? You don't want to be sunset?
I'm waiting for it to just turn night and then walking inside.
Okay.
See what it looks like.
Well, right now you better go.
I need to wait for the howl.
Oh, you want literal night? Oh, okay.
Any moment now.
There it goes. It's just night, yeah.
Yep. That has a red rupee in it one time.
Oh, never again, huh? Interesting.
I want this dog to stop following me.
I see these are the packs of dogs we're talking about.
Because this is Richard right here.
So is that my mom? No, who's that in the door?
Oh, that's just random person.
Okay. It seems like it's taking forever for dawn to come. The view of Hyrule Castle in the morning sun is so fantastic. Anyway,
I accidentally got this dog following me. This is not the dog I want following me.
oh, I just figured I didn't realize that's what you were trying to undo a dog.
Yes.
I did not realize.
I want to go ahead and do Richard. Oh my goodness.
Since we're here at night. Wow, this dog really wants you.
Yeah, this dog loves me.
How did you acquire this dog exactly? You got too close to it or something?
I guess.
Maybe you have to take it to Mamamoo Yan and have her tell you, that's the wrong dog, you're such an
Because
idiot.
this is Richard right here.
Can you have two dogs at once?
I don't believe so.
So you're stuck with non-Richard. I think you might have to tell Mamamoo Yan. I think I found Richard and have her
I'm going to
tell
go
her
to
no.
treasure chest game. I'm not going to do treasure chest game.
You're going to enter and see if that helps.
Because
The dog is still following
treasure
you.
box, whatever. Can I buy bomb shoes? I could do bomb shoe bowling and win a piece of heart and a...
Ben, I don't think you were followed.
Yep.
Does he have
100
a
rupees for
mustache?
10 pieces. Sure.
Is that hair or a tattoo on the side of his head? Are there tables and chairs in here like a restaurant?
This is a new type of bomb that can even crawl up walls.
All he has is bomb juice. Seriously, I'm pretty sure he's got tables and chairs like this is a restaurant. He also has bottles behind him.
Yep.
So maybe it's like a bar of some sort. Let's see if the dog is still there. Haha, you managed to escape the dog.
Yay, I escaped a random dog that is not Richard. Okay, Richard. I don't know if spending 100 rupees on 10 bomb shoes was the best use of resources, but...
Good, he's definitely following you.
I was planning on doing this when we came back, but then it became night, so here we are.
Yep. Richard! This is my little Richard! Isn't there a single... Anyway. Thank you, thank you! I'll give this to you as a reward! Yay!
Man, this is such a classic tune.
It is.
Okay. Time to go have more cutscenes.
Time for the Temple of Time.
Indeed. I don't know. I just don't really want to deal with like bomb shoe bowling. And...
Wow, they stay out all night, huh? They're
Yeah, Honey
dancing.
and Darling. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a choice.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do Happy Masks or not either.
Wow, there are a lot of dogs.
There are a lot of dogs. There's somebody who's commenting about like the packs of dogs.
I remember, but I didn't realize it was this extreme.
It is very extreme.
Is one gonna follow you into the Temple of Time? Ooh, I love this. The music in this place.
Yeah, it is good.
And the light coming in the windows, which makes no sense right now because it's nighttime, but we'll ignore that part.
It's moonlight.
Oh, okay, that'll work.
How did this work?
So it's like, is that G D F
I do not know.
or is it A G F? I mean A D F. I can't remember. I'd have to look at it. I know how to play it, so you think I would know what the notes are,
You would think.
but I'm blanking on what they are. The guide actually has a like button to actual note scale, if I recall correctly, which is how I know like that's how I know the A button is low D, for example, and the up arrow is like a higher level of D, so it's an octave.
Yeah, music changed there for that.
Yeah. There are 3 hollows and an inscription here. Ye who owns 3 spiritual stones, stand with the Ocarina of Time and play the Song of Time. That is how the inscription reads.
So you do that, and the inscription is able to start reading things.
I like how the use of lighting in this room.
Yeah. Very dramatic lighting. I love it.
Isn't that... This is hilarious because no one has ever mentioned the Master Sword yet in this game. So her being like, oh, the Master Sword! It's like, we've never heard of this. It's that legendary blade! The Master Sword! Now, has this shown up in earlier games? That like
yes.
Okay, so a player who has played one of the earlier Zelda games knows what this is.
It has shown up in A Link to the Past. I don't believe it was in
the first 2?
I don't think so.
Or Link's Awakening.
Yeah, and it's not in Link's Awakening. It's like Noble Sword and White Sword and Magical Sword and stuff. So I think the Master Sword. So you get.
Well, this is a prequel to A Link to the Past. This game.
Yes, you get your uncle's sword in
the first one.
No, in A Link to the Past, you start off by getting your uncle's sword, and then you get the Master Sword from the pedestal.
Okay.
After getting the 3 pendants.
And it's in Sacred Forest.
It's in the Sacred Forest Meadow.
Which is why that's where you find it in later games.
Yes.
Or the Temple of Time is there in later games, and like Twilight Princess, I think.
Yeah. There's been some speculation that originally, like I think Zeltic had some speculation that the Master Sword was originally supposed to be in the room where the Ganon boss fight, or the Phantom Ganondorf boss fight is in Forest Temple.
Oh, okay.
And they moved it. And they moved it here, but it's hard to say for sure.
That would make sense. Maybe it was an in-game universe. It was there and it was moved here at some point.
There's an argument for that too. And given all the Triforces in there and everything, like it would make a certain amount of sense. But the Master Sword, you get it in A Link to the Past, and then you temper it, and it becomes orange. And then you do another tempering or something, it becomes yellow. And people call that the Butter Sword because it looks like a stick of butter, I guess, to them. So Butter Sword is...
better? The Butter Sword is better?
Yes, the Butter Sword is better.
So this is Betty Botter had some butter. But she said, this butter's bitter. If I had a bit of butter that was better than my bitter butter, I could add it to my batter, and my batter would be better. I don't remember how that goes.
Yeah.
But it's something like that. Anyway.
But yeah, the Master Sword becomes a much more significant thing starting, like, once they introduce it.
Kind of with this game and stuff,
I'm not sure if, like, Hyrule Historia, because I don't have that or anything. I
have disagreements with Hyrule Historia anyway, which we'll talk about with Majora's Mask.
That's true. But I don't know if any of that talks about like the fate of the Master Sword or anything like that. I don't know if anybody's done like a Master Sword specific video or not.
I mean, have you looked for it?
I haven't. Like, I've not thought to.
There you go. Maybe someone has. You haven't
looked. That would be interesting to look for, to see if somebody's done like an in-depth dive into like the history of the Master Sword. Because obviously there's a lot of stuff that we know with like, oh, it's forged from the goddess blade with fee and all that. But you can go into more detail around that, as well as like, okay, what's the explanation for the games that don't have it and things like that.
Beyond like, I mean, it's retcon.
I feel like obviously. I've heard some stuff mentioned because you have the Four Sword as well, which is another legendary blade.
Yeah, and that's what you have in the games where there's 4 links, basically.
Yes, and you have that in Four Sword Adventures. There's a couple of those Four Sword Adventure games, as well as Minish Cap.
Okay.
I believe it shows up there as well. So it's interesting to think about, like how many legendary blades.
I love
are floating
that
around
the symbols are the symbols of the temples on the medallions.
Yeah,
I really enjoy that. Another thing that I
the
took
sage
pictures
symbols.
of, and I memorized all of the sage symbols as a child.
Yeah,
because that is my personality.
All right, time for some cutscenes.
Yes,
and we're gonna wrap this up once we finish all these cutscenes. So.
Yes.
Oh man, this was so amazing the very first time. Now it's like, yes, that cutscene.
Oh, you see it so many times.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, you don't see this part every time, though.
This is so bad in the Switch version. There's no fog. He's just standing there.
Oh, no. Excellent work. You think someone would have caught that? As I thought, you held the keys to the door of time. He watched you take Richard to the Momoyan and everything. You have led me to the gates of the sacred realm. Yes, I owe it all to you, kid. The way he calls you kid almost feels friendly, you know? Like, he kind of likes you in spite of himself.
Yeah.
Until you come back as an adult and kill him. So he doesn't like that part of you. Link. Who's talking now, Ben?
Rauru.
Okay, thank you. Wake up, Link, the chosen one. It was very abrupt. I didn't realize that was the transition moment.
Mm-hmm. This was always such a cool looking place.
Yes. I guess we can call it the Light Temple.
It's the Sage's Chamber.
And first person perspective again. You're not flying, but it's still first person perspective.
There's another that uses very similar to this. I think it's a Link Between Worlds that uses the Sage's Chamber very similar to this.
Our hint is that your perspective is taller than it was when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Though now it's switched, so. I am Rauru, one of the ancient sages.
You know, it's interesting. I always kind of thought, as a kid, I think that adulthood was a lot like this, where suddenly you wake up one day and you're an adult now.
Ha 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 ha.
Instead of being like just a continuous experience.
Uh-huh.
Like, I don't suddenly become a different person and become an adult. Like, it's just...
Yeah.
I'm older now and like, more mature, and my brain works, like, has better reasoning skills and things like that. But I didn't, like, wake up one day and go from being a kid to an adult. It just didn't happen that way. It just is a slow, gradual process. And I feel like the way our society has very distinct lines for things kind of plays into sort of the sense that that's how it's supposed to work, but it just totally isn't.
Yeah. And you kind of have to have those lines because, I mean, in theory, maturity is going to be different for every person, but you can't do that.
It's
so you just have to
messy
you have
otherwise.
To choose a number, and we chose 18. Or if it's if it's like drinking, it's 21, or if it's like renting a car, it's, I don't know, 25 or something.
I think you might be able to rent younger than 25, but have like additional fees or something.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
But yeah, it's one of those things that's just really interesting to me, like how my brain was like, oh, as a kid, I was like expecting somehow I just wake up and suddenly be, you know, like my parents. And that just never happened. I've always been kind of like me. And I've always like, you know, I've continued to love video games like Ocarina of Time.
There's definitely my impression in fandom.
And I didn't become a boring adult like my parents.
Yeah. My impression in the fandom is that there is this idea from younger people that at some point you wake up and you're an adult and you don't like fanish things anymore, and it's weird to have like a grown-up, you know, and in fandom spaces. And then a lot of the people who are, you know, in like their 30s 40s plus in fandom spaces are like, no, you don't suddenly become like, oh, I'm an adult woman now, and so I just like knitting and I don't care about books and TV shows and movies anymore or video games anymore. I'm just going to be a boring adult.
Yeah. And
it's like, no,
you're
still just a human, and you still like the things that you've always liked, unless your tastes change, which might happen. They might happen, but it's not just because you're an adult, you know, or something that you suddenly don't like, you know, fangirling or fanboying for you over a video game or a movie that just came out.
And I think
or
part
something.
of it is like there are some things that you do tend to grow out of. Like make-believe is not a thing you really tend to do as an adult.
Yeah, like the way that I would play games like this one is I would, you know, mess around riding a Epona and be playing make-believe, basically.
Yeah.
Like with a paper doll or a Barbie, you know, but in the game. And I don't think you really do that in the same, like you said, as an adult.
But it's still, like, hobby-worthy. It's just your approach tends to be a bit different,
and
right?
There definitely is, like you said, outgrowing things. Not just, like, the playing make-believe aspect, but, like, you come back to something years later and you're like, holy cow, this is different than I remembered in a negative way. It doesn't hold up.
It lands differently.
Yeah, and, like, you know, that could be because you have higher standards now that you've seen other things and realize that this is like not actually the best example of this kind of thing. There are better versions of it that I have now experienced, and it could be because it's got issues you didn't notice as a kid. And it could be that it has aged like with society as well.
Absolutely.
Where it could be that these things didn't ping you as problematic, and they do now. I mean, I've recently been reading some of the Lord Peter Wimsey books by Dorothy Sayers, and she's got some language in there that isn't, like, she uses the N-word.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, that was, and I know, like, Agatha Christie had a book that used that in the title.
Mm-hmm.
And, and some other things that, and also some of the kind of anti-Semitic, or even if it's not completely anti, it's very much, like, tropey about, like, oh, it's a money person, they're Jewish,
Yeah.
And that's definitely, like, there's definitely a thing where you have to kind of find this line of, I don't agree with this, and I realize this is, like, not good, but the book is still good on the whole, and, like, recognizing this is a harmful stereotype, this is language that should not be used, etc. And, like, there's this line of, like, where do you decide that, therefore, this entire book needs to be written off, this entire author needs to be written off, versus I will ignore that aspect and look at the other aspects.
And some amount of, like, those tropes are, it's like the damsel in distress.
Yeah, like, how much are you saying this is a harmful trope versus I'm aware of that and I'm ignoring it because I like it?
Where is it,
Does
like...
that make sense?
Well, because what I'm saying is there's a line between, like, a harmful stereotype, an innocent take on something that is often used as a harmful stereotype, and overplayed stereotypes, like overplayed cliches. Because, like, damsel in distress is overplayed in video games, particularly early ones, because it's a very simple, easy to do plot device when you don't have room for text. Go out, save the princess is a time-worn, time-honored trope because it's a straightforward, clear, easy motivation that doesn't take much space to communicate, right? Even though it's kind of trite and simple, and the problem isn't so much the trope itself, but it's overuse. Some of the stereotype stuff falls into, like, is it a problem to have a money-oriented character be Jewish? Well, not on its surface. The problem is when that's all Jewish characters are. Yeah. Right? And like, you have when a race is reduced to a stereotype. Yeah. That's where things start to become a problem. And you get that as in a problem in a lot of fantasy properties, where things like elves are reduced to being, tree-loving hippies, or dwarves are reduced to being gold-obsessed diggers.
I think it's called
and
the
stuff like that.
One Hat Planet, as I think what they might call it on TV tropes.
Maybe.
Where,
or monolithic cultures.
Planet of Hats, something like that. Where all of the people on that planet wear the same hat. Is, I guess, the idea of that, right? Yeah. Where all of them are representative of their species in the same way.
So it's just one of those things where it's like, as much as we want characters to be three-dimensional, we also need, like, groups to be three-dimensional. Yeah. And the problem is we have a real tendency to...
Well, that's definitely the thing they talk about with some of the representation is, like, having... I'll just use female as the minority. Majority, minority, but whatever. As the minority, like, having, this female character is... whatever stereotype you want to go into of being, weak or, feminine and not the strong female character. Or maybe it is strong female character in, like, a, why can't, I'm not like other women kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
Whatever the thing is, if you only have the one female character, then she's, like, representing all women. And then, are you saying that all women are like this? It's like, no, I'm saying this one female character is. But the way to mitigate that is to have other female characters who are not like that. Right. So, like, as you're saying, like, showing that there are different women.
And it's the breadth of diversity.
And showing that they are not all wearing the same hat because there is more than one of them and they're not all wearing that hat. Yeah. Whereas if there's only the single one, it can be assumed potentially by people that, does this mean you think all women wear that hat? It's like, no, just this one. Right. But, like, so that's the thing with, don't just have the one character representing the entire group.
Yeah.
And we're getting into heavy topics here.
We are, which is a weird way to end an episode, but let's go ahead and finish having Raru tell us about what's going on.
How did we even get on this?
I don't fully remember anymore. The way that you don't just magically become a different person when you become an adult.
Wow, that really went places.
It did.
I think we might have rambled. This has turned into a podcast. The visual's not changing.
It's true.
A podcast with some nice background music from the Chamber of Sages. All right, yeah, so hopefully I articulated what I was trying to say clearly, because I don't want to, like...
Yeah, I mean, it's again, one of the things that this game has going for it is, if you notice, a bunch of the stages are women, and they're all different.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing that... And the fact that it's even called Legend of Zelda.
Ruto, Saria, Naburu,
Impa?
And Impa.
Uh-huh.
Zelda's also technically at the 7th stage, but they're all different personalities, they're all different characters. And to some extent, like, men are underrepresented as sages, but you have Link as the main character, so I think that balances out.
Yeah.
And Ganondorf is the main villain.
Uh-huh.
So, like, when you're looking at some of these more major characters, it's actually fairly, like, even gender-wise, which means that you have different sorts of representation going on. You have the old wise guy here in Rauru. You have...
And they're different species.
You have Link, you know, being the young hero.
Uh-huh.
You have
Darunia
being the, like...
leader of his people and really, like...
very affable, strong man who's, like, got a big heart. His emotions flow easily. And, so, like, you've got different... And Ganondorf, of course, who's, like, a power-obsessed villain. Like, you've got different male representations, but you have Saria, who's a more...
Gentle,
friendly, versus, like, Nabura, whatever her name is.
Naburu.
Yeah, that sounds correct. I was getting caught up on vowels. She has a lot of vowels. Which is a very different sort of female character from, like, Impa, who is much more stoic and...
Stoic, but yeah.
Yeah, stoic and, like, secretive and I want to say, like, strong spine, if that makes any sense.
She's the strong, silent type.
Yes. And...
Ruto is...
Yeah, Ruto is...
a bit of the spoiled princess, a little bit.
She's, like, more rambunctious in her personality, too. But,
yeah.
But, like, and that's the thing, is, like, they're all different. And that's one of the things that this game has is a big strength.
Yeah. I think that is definitely nice that they definitely decided to make a lot of the sages female, and I definitely appreciate that.
And, like, you have Malin versus Talon and Ingo, right? They're all also different characters. And
different body shapes, too.
Yeah. So those are some things that I appreciate. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this guy up.
Ben, it's the Temple of Time. We have to take our time.
Do we?
We do. All right. I guess old man voice is what I'm doing. Is that right? Do I can do an old man voice? Okay. I am Rauru, one of the ancient sages. Ages ago, we ancient sages built the Temple of Time to protect the entrance to the sacred realm. They made this into a game?
No.
I want to see the game where we have a young Rauru.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't find out his name until, like, near the end of the game.
Was he one of those ancient sages? How old is Rauru at this point, do you think?
We ancient sages, was he one of them? I think he might have been.
I mean, so that could be, like, we Americans did such and such a thing. Like, we Americans won the Revolutionary War against Britain or something.
But it's not just we sages, it's we ancient sages.
That's true.
That to me implies he is one of the ancient... I mean, my impression is that he's been, like, here in this void where time does not pass for a very long time waiting for, like, someone to show up, which you just did. Anyway, we should actually get through this cutscene. This is the most drawn-out cutscene we've ever watched. This is the Chamber of Sages inside the Temple of Light. I'm going to say the rest of the Temple of Light.
Yeah.
The Temple of Light, situated in the very center of the sacred realm, is the last stronghold against Ganondorf's evil forces. The Master Sword, the evil-destroying sword that you pulled out of the pedestal of time, was the final key to the sacred realm. Think. Don't be alarmed. Look at yourself.
Here's a mirror.
Good point. I guess it's his arms. He looks at his arms and legs.
Also, who pierced his ear?
Navi.
And got him pants.
Navi did it.
And
he's got a shirt on too underneath.
He's wearing a white bodysuit with a green tunic over it.
And gloves. I don't think he had those gloves before,
no,
did he?
He did
and
not.
His shoes surely wouldn't have fit before. Like, maybe his hat is the same.
Somebody just had an outfit in storage and pulled it out and, like, dressed him.
Well, this is the traditional outfit of the hero, so they probably just had it in stock.
That's true.
Maybe the former hero left a pair of his clothes behind. They just put... The reason why he couldn't be the hero is because he couldn't fit this outfit, and they had to wait for him to fit the outfit. And now that he can be the hero.
Put him in stasis until he could fit into the hero's clothes.
Look, Link. Does that have a comma? It needs to have a comma. I'm sorry. Anyway, you're big now. You've grown up.
As I'll point out...
How do they get off this
this
platform and go anywhere? Is Rauru stuck on this platform?
Let's not worry about it too much.
Okay. I like the cinematic motion.
I don't know if it'll automatically progress this.
The Master Sword is a sacred blade which evil ones may never touch.
I want to see what happens if I just let it sit here for a bit.
Well, I didn't need to speed it up, did I? Ooh, I like this camera.
I did not know how long it would last.
This is
Does it just repeat this motion?
Maybe?
It feels like it's settling.
Okay, it stopped. Probably this whole dialogue was supposed to be on that zoom, and we just got to the end. Only one worthy of the title of Hero of Time can pull it from the pedestal of time.
You're probably right, but whatever.
However, you were too young to be the Hero of Time.
You couldn't wield it. It was too big of a sword for you.
Yep. Therefore, your spirit was sealed here for 7 years.
So he was 10. Now he's 17.
Mm-hmm.
Still a minor.
Mm-hmm.
Still not considered an adult according to our cultural standards.
Mm-hmm.
But we call him Adult Link anyway.
I guess it's the contrast between Child Link, or I guess we call him Young Link, right?
Young Link and Teenager Link.
They're both really young is the thing.
Yeah.
And now that you are old enough, he fits the clothes, that's how he's old enough.
Yep.
The time has come for you to awaken as the Hero of Time. He said time a lot. Well, of course, I forgot everyone does this. Did you understand it? Should I repeat literally what I just said verbatim?
You should not repeat yourself. Yes, I understood.
But remember, though you opened the door of time in the name of peace, Ganondorf, the Gerudo King of Thieves, used it to enter this forbidden sacred realm. He obtained the Triforce from the Temple of Light, and with its power he became the King of Evil. His evil power radiated from the temples of Hyrule, and in 7 short years it transformed Hyrule into a world of monsters.
And yet, Skullkids no longer spawn in Hyrule Field.
Woo! So it's less monster-filled.
Now there's Pose.
I feel like the main... I mean, obviously, you do have things like Lake Hylia is kind of drained, and the Zora are all, frozen and stuff like that. But I feel... And there's a creepy fire cloud over Death Mountain. But I feel like, really, it's only really Hyrule Castle Town that's been changed.
Hyrule Castle Town has the biggest changes.
And you've got, the refugees in Kakriko, but...
There's probably a few more changes than you realize.
Probably, considering last time I played this game was 15 to 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot more that I don't realize. My power now has only little influence, even in this sacred realm. Namely, this chamber of sages. But there is still hope. The power of the sages remains. When the power of all the sages is awakened, the sages' seals will contain all the evil power in the void of the realm. I, Rauru, am one of the sages, and your power to fight together with the sages makes you the Hero of Time. The Hero of Time chosen by the Master Sword. Is this the 3rd or 4th time he's called you the Hero of Time?
I'm pretty sure you've undercounted.
I feel like he acts like it's a new information every time he says it. But he said it a lot of times already. Keep my spirit with you, and find the power of the other sages and add their might to your own.
I do like how they have an arrow to indicate that there's more dialogue boxes, and then a square to indicate that they're kind of done with this dialogue.
That is good.
chain.
That is a good decision.
These medallions, which don't actually do anything, although, as I previously said, originally they apparently, from I think it was a Zeltic video, but originally they were going to give you spells and combine with your bow to give you different arrow types too.
Ooh. That's a lot of work to come up with 6 different
Yes.
arrow types. You got
That's
the
probably
light
part of why it
medallion.
got cut.
And have them all have different uses too.
Yeah.
This one has to use the...
You can apparently
Forest.
still access the spirit arrows.
What do those do?
I think they make enemies drop money. Magic, maybe? I don't remember. You can. I think Zeltic did a video on it, so you can try to hunt it down there somewhere.
So Rauru the Sage adds his power to yours.
This is.
Or if you had more power after this happened.
Yeah.
Find the other sages and save Hyrule.
I wish it did something literally, but
Yeah. That would be nice.
we're not done yet. This is
We're gonna
a
meet
very
Sheikah,
long.
right?
No,
Oh, we don't meet Sheikah?
there's no Sheik. No.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes, you are correct. I'm just thinking of the name of the
Yes.
group of people. Think. We're back in the Temple of Time. But have 7 years really passed? I guess she was frozen too. It looks like you won't be able to use some of your weapons you found as a kid anymore.
Why? Who knows?
Adults don't use slingshots. Remember, you grew up one day and were an adult, you put away childish things, right?
Remember, you became an adult one day and you stopped using a slingshot, unlike...
And you started knitting.
all of the other Links that use slingshots still, as adults.
Yep.
Like Twilight Princess.
Really? I don't remember that. I remember so much about that game, though.
And I believe there's also a slingshot in Skyward Sword.
I remember that game really well, too. So, those are the two games to choose for me to not be able to say if you're right or wrong. You could be making that up, and I would have no way of discounting you. Anyway, no slingshots for you. You're 17 years
Or
now.
boomerangs.
Why? Yeah, I guess. Anyway, let's get out of here.
The boomerang is such a traditional weapon for Link as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had that in some of the earlier ones, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Aha. Where did she come from? I've been waiting for you, hero of time. When evil rules all, an awakening voice from the sacred realm will call those destined to be sages who dwell in the 5 temples. One in a deep forest, one on a high mountain, one under a vast lake, one within the house of the dead, one inside a goddess of the sand. Together with the hero of time, the awakened ones will bind the evil and return the light of peace to the world. This is the legend of the temples passed down by my people, the Sheikah. I am Sheik. Sheik? Sheik. I'm not going to call her Sheik. That just sounds weird. I am Sheik, survivor of the Sheikahs. I don't need to call them Sheikas. As I see you standing there, holding the mythical Master Sword, you really do look like the legendary hero of time. If you believe the legend, you have no choice. You must look for the 5 temples and awaken the 5 sages. One sage is waiting for the time of awakening in the forest temple. The sage is a girl, I am sure you know. Because of the evil power in the temple, she cannot hear the awakening call from the sacred realm. Unfortunately, equipped as you currently are, you cannot even enter the temple. But if you believe what I am saying, you should head to Kakrika village. Do you understand, Link?
Didn't bring up a dialogue? I mean,
Wow, they didn't ask yes or no.
You can go say hi.
To save the forest girl, you need another skill. Head to Kakrika village. I love her just because she didn't ask me if I wanted her to repeat herself.
It automatically equips bombs, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I see you do have bombs equipped.
Yeah, depending upon things. So
We haven't learned the song yet. When do we get the song?
Prelude of Light, after
Yeah.
we get the Force Medallion.
Oh, okay.
So, this is also changed now.
Yeah, it has a different inscription. The Ocarina of Time opened the door. The Hero of Time with the Master Sword descended here. Who changed the inscription? I want to
I
know.
have no idea.
It was magic.
It probably is a magical thing. So, we're going to remind you that this is the GameCube version of Ocarina of Time. And save to the memory card. Because we're wrapping up this episode because it has been very long.
Oh no, it's almost an hour and a half.
It is.
We had too many digressions.
We had a lot of digressions, but it's good. People, at this point, people know that they are here to hear us blather,
Apparently.
and hopefully y'all are having as much fun with this as we are. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap up here. So thank you all for watching. Until next time, take care and goodbye.
Bye bye.